It's so wonderful to see you again. Welcome back. I've missed this chat. Come on, grab a seat, maybe your favorite drink, because we are just going to hang out and have a chat today. You know that feeling that you have been carrying? Something heavy, like guilt, and you just cannot shake it off. That's what's on my mind. I've been thinking about forgiving ourselves, but not in some self help way, more like through Jesus' eyes. It's a total detox from that guilt that has been dragging us down. So let's unpack this together. 25 minutes, just you and me, like old friends catching up. You in? Let's go. Let's get honest for a moment. Guilt. It's brutal. It's that voice in your head replaying your worst moments. You messed up again. How could you? Maybe it's something big you did years ago, or little stuff that piles up until you're drowning in it. I've been there, feeling like I do not deserve grace because I just cannot let go of it. Sound familiar? What you really want, what I want too, is freedom, peace, to look in the mirror and not hate what I see. I'm telling you, by the end of this, you are going to see how Jesus looks at you. And it's not with a guilt trip, it's with a way out. Here is what I am promising you today, not some quick fix, but a real shift. We are not just going to wallow in the guilt swamp, we're detoxing it, flushing it out through how Jesus sees us. This isn't about you trying harder to forgive yourself. It's about letting Him show you you have already been forgiven. I've got some straight up Bible truth to back this up, and a simple way to start letting it sink in. Stick with me, because this could be the moment you finally breathe again, lighter, freer. Let's dive into what Jesus has to say about this, because let's be honest, He's got the good stuff. First, think about the woman caught in adultery. Just imagine that for a moment, being dragged in front of everybody, naked, exposed, all by yourself. Can you just imagine that fear? Imagine that moment if you had to step into her shoes. That is in John 8. She's dragged out, guilty as charged. There's no illusion what this woman just did. And the crowd is ready to stone her. Her death sentence has already been signed. But Jesus steps in, shuts this whole thing down with just one sentence. Let him without sin cast the first stone. And guess what? They all bail. Then he looks at her, caught red-handed, and says, I don't condemn you. Go and sin no more. No lecture, no shame, just freedom. Or Peter, oh man, Peter, Luke 22. He denies Jesus 3 times, right when Jesus needs him the most. Guilt city, right? But after the resurrection, John 21. Jesus doesn't bring it up to rub it in. He cooks breakfast, fish on the beach, and asks Peter, "Do you love me?" 3 times, matching those denials. He is just wiping them out. Peter's restored, not rejected. And Psalm 103 verse 12. As far as the east is from the west, so far has He removed our transgressions from us. That's not vague. That's God saying guilt is gone, geographically, infinitely gone. Doesn't that just hit you right here? It gets me every single time when I think about it. Because I've carried guilt like a backpack full of bricks. I have ridden myself of guilt for such a long time. I used to blame myself for the things other people did to me. I would constantly try to please everybody and just rip myself to shreds. I would constantly go back and forth with God. He would raise me up and show me what an amazing person I am. But I would break myself down because I somehow felt that I needed to earn this whole forgiveness thing. I wasn't worthy of forgiveness. Forgiveness was for everybody else, but not for me, because I was ridden with sin. I wasn't good enough. But somehow His grace found me. Somehow His grace penetrated my thoughts, and I was able to start seeing myself through Jesus' eyes. I was able to see who I am within Him and what my purpose is. I can remember times just sitting there with my stomach full of knots, feeling like I've just failed Jesus over and over. Every single time the same sin would just ramp over me, and I would fall for it, and I would be a victim to it over and over and over. And you know what? I got to the point where I didn't want to carry on anymore. I didn't want to walk on this earth like this anymore. And that was the moment that I just broke, and I said, Jesus, I cannot carry this anymore. I cannot take this anymore. I need you to take this, or else I need to take drastic steps. And it wasn't instant that He just removed it all from me, but I kept picturing Jesus on that beach with Peter, looking me in my eyes and saying, Marnie, do you love me? And I said, yes. And He said, Marnie, do you really love me? And I said, yes. And He looked me in my eyes again and said, Marnie, do you really love me? And at that moment, I just leaped up and said, yes, I love you with all of my heart, my soul, and my body. I love you. And that is the moment. And I felt all of it rip out of me. All of that guilt gone. And I realized He doesn't leave us in our muck. He doesn't leave us in our mistakes and our sin. He pulled me out, and I know He can pull you out. And here is why I'm going to nudge you a little bit. What if guilt is not your honorary badge? Let's be real. We wear it like, yeah, I don't deserve to feel awful. But Jesus is like, nah, I already took that. That's the wild part. He's not glaring at you, tallying your screw-ups. He's looking at you like that woman, like Peter, forgiven. Get this, a 2021 study from the American Psychology Association said that 68% of people struggle with self-forgiveness, even after they believe others have forgiven them. That's most of us. And for 2,000 years, Jesus has been saying, let it go. I've got you. Why fight him on it? So why wait to drop this weight? This isn't just ancient history. It's for today, tonight, right now. Guilt's timeless. People have wrestled with it forever. But Jesus, forgiveness is too. Here is how you start. Look through his eyes. Picture him saying, to you, I don't condemn you. Say it out loud if you need to. Jesus, I'm stuck on this, and name that thing that is making you feel guilty. Show me how you see me. Be real with him. He's not shocked. You're not this huge surprise to him. Trust me, he's seen it all. He's been detoxing guilt since the cross. Do not let another day go by beating yourself up with what he has already forgiven and forgotten. The only one that is bringing it up is you. He doesn't want the reminder. In his eyes, you are clean. You are forgiven. It's time that you accept it and own it. You're not a failure for feeling guilty. You're human. And you're strong for facing it. Jesus isn't waiting for you to clean it up. He's already done it. So take that step. Let him show you who you really are. Forgiven, loved, and free. You've got this. Hey, before you head out, drop a comment. What is one thing that you're struggling with right now, that you are battling to forgive yourself with? Let's talk it through. Hit that like button if this message spoke to you. And subscribe if you want more chats like this. Just you and me. Cup of coffee, something to drink, and just talking it out for real. You don't have to carry that guilt alone anymore. Jesus sees you. And trust me, he's the King of grace. So if you are battling with that guilt and you need some support and guidance, then check out my 7-day detox, where I break down these beliefs, these things that we build inside of our minds that is like a prison. This detox will help you to clean that out and to reset a foundation to truly building a deep, loving, intimate relationship with Jesus. And not intimate like we know intimate. I mean like seriously intimate. I don't know Jesus any other way right now. He literally lifted me out of all my muck and truly taught me what it means to have an intimate, loving relationship with him. And I wish for the exact same thing for every single person watching this video. I want them to get to know Jesus on such a deeper level as he has done for me, and I know that he can do for you. Otherwise, also check out my book. It's dropping in 3 months. It's an amazing book that shares what it took for me to go from all of this deep pit that I was in and how he took me out of it, and all the steps, all the things that I had to do to build this loving relationship with him. Because here's the reality. Any relationship is built. It's not just given. And building a relationship with him takes specific things that you need to do, things you need to let go of, things you need to let in, breaking down old habits. And this is exactly what this book is covering on. It's helping you to build a very deep and intimate connection with him. I can't remember the last time I didn't hear his voice. He's with me 24/7. I ask him questions, he answers them. Because our relationship is built upon trust. It's built upon an intimate connection. I am no longer a victim to my sin and to the things that I've done wrong. And he was able to free me from it. And I know that you want the same. So check out my book. It is dropping in the next 3 months. You can pre-order it. And yes, stop feeling guilty. You're already forgiven. You just need to accept it. But as always, guys, all good things have to come to an end. I really enjoyed having this time with you. Thank you for being here. It was wonderful to see you again. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.